This is News and Notes. I'm Farai Chidea. Today we continue our series on kids with a look at gifted children. Meet 12-year-old Chelsea Dock. She plays the piano with the skill of a professional many times her age, and her story goes back to her early childhood. Chelsea began taking piano lessons when she was 4.5 years old, and a year later she was winning piano competitions. Here's Chelsea performing when she was only 6 years old. It's beautiful music, but every gift brings challenges. So, how does Chelsea and her family deal with them? In a few minutes, we'll talk about how you can tell if your child is gifted. But right now, we're joined by Chelsea Dock and her father, Warren Dock. It's great to have you both on. How you doing?
Fine, thank you for having us.
Hey,
Thank you.
Chelsea.
Hi.
So, I absolutely love your playing. I myself took piano lessons, but I was, let's put it this way, it's not so successful on my end. I may take it up again, but not so much successful right now. So, when you think about the piano, what does it mean to you?
Well, I think of like a bunch of like different instruments, how it could like mimic it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the piano can kind of be a basis for, I mean, a lot of songwriters use the piano because you can create a whole a scene, and then you can take it and you can add other instruments to it. But how do you hear? Because from what I understand, when you were younger, you weren't really reading music as much as you were just getting up on the piano and playing. Is that right?
Yeah, I've kind of picked it all up by ear.
Mm-hmm. Why? Do, how? I mean, can you describe what it means to you to be able to hear something and just play it? I mean, most people can't do that.
Well, I'd say I was blessed with the gift because like for like as you said, not a lot of people could do it. So it's like for me to be able to hear stuff and pick it up. Like I can't play the whole piece, but I could pick like the melody. Then I definitely have been blessed with the gift from God.
Warren, when did you first know that your daughter had a talent that was beyond just being a good student or anything that is typical for a kid taking music lessons?
I would say when she was about 3.5, because my older siblings were taking structured music lessons at a conservatory, and what she did was she had begun to just go over to the piano and mimic some of the pieces that they were playing without having any lessons. But I still waited about 6 months to a year because I really didn't understand at the time what I had on my hands. So probably at about 4 years old, I took her to the same teacher that was teaching them, and she immediately took her as a student. And 6 months later, she was playing in public.
Let's talk about that playing in public thing, because it's one thing to be gifted, it's another thing to have the presence and the composure to be out among a group of people. And some kids are shy; they don't like performing for others. What made you confident that she could deal with being in a situation where other people were observing her?
Well, she made me confident because it was something that she wanted to do. Because before she was even ready to perform in public, she would, she saw, I guess she saw her brother and her sisters doing it, and she kept prompting me that she wanted to, go up there and play. And I was always like, well, Chelsea, you don't have any pieces to play right now, So I knew she had the confidence to play in public. And after she did her first performance, it solidified it right there that, she had the ability to perform in front of an audience, regardless of the size.
Regardless of the size, Chelsea, you performed at Madison Square Garden, and so you're kind of up there with the Rolling Stones and all these other rock stars, Bruce Springsteen, as well as these, some of the biggest names in sports. And you were performing, now it's half a lifetime ago for you. Do you remember that evening, and what was it like to you?
Yeah, the first time when I was 6 or 7, that was the most exciting part because when I got there, it was completely empty, and I was like, "Oh, this is okay." And then I realized, and I was like, "Wow, look at all these people!" And the reaction of after I played, just like I was just like, "Wow," like kind of overwhelming.
People loved you. Do you play for Do you play for accolades? Do you play And there's certainly nothing wrong with that. But do you play for applause, or do you play for other reasons?
No, I like performing because I like just like sharing my talent and hopefully becoming a positive influence for others.
Do you consider yourself someone who can get along well with other people your age, or do you feel like you don't have a lot in common with them, given what you do?
Oh no, I feel like I can get along perfectly. Like so, I can play the piano. They can have a different talent, and we can still get along.
What do you like besides the piano?
Like everyday things or like
Everyday
specific?
things.
Oh, I like the usual stuff like computer, phones, hanging out with my friends, TV, video games, those things.
Text messaging. Do you text message a lot?
Well, my phone doesn't have texting.
Uh-oh. Dad was smart about that, huh?
Oh yeah.
You don't want her running up your bill, huh?
Oh no 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 no. One of my other daughters did that, and I learned my lesson.
Right, right. So how many children do you have, Warren?
I have 5 children.
5 children. And so how does this, do you ever feel torn between trying to make sure Chelsea has time to have her gifts flourish and making time for all of the kids? Do you ever feel like you have a hard situation there?
Not really, because of the amount of support I get from my other children, and being that they're older than her, 3 of them older than her, they support what we're trying to do. One will help her with her hair, and they take her shopping, and they also get to enjoy the perks of Chelsea being able to perform certain places, because when she goes, a lot of times it's set up so that the rest of the family, gets to enjoy the situation also.
When you're taking her out on these these competitions, I presume that requires some logistics, travel, pulling together the money to travel, making sure that someone's there to travel with her. Is that difficult?
Not really, because it's all about preparation. I can't really say it's difficult because of how we basically prepare for whatever we're going to do. And so when the opportunity comes for us to do it, or the situation arises that we have to do the performance, she's usually always ready, and there's no pressure.
Take me through the just complete boring rundown. Like, if there's a performance, let's say there's a performance out of town, what do you have to do? Like, get up in the morning, pack the suitcase, hustle. Just give me a sense of what you have to do.
Okay, it depends on the magnitude of the performance. Like when we did the CMAs in Nashville, or if we did the Ellen show, then that type of preparation we have to be on point, because everything, as far as who we're performing for, is very scheduled. So when we did the CMAs, we made sure, for example, we got up in time to get to the airport in time, so we could check our bags and not miss the flight. When we get to whatever venue we're going to, we make sure we check into the hotel, make sure she's comfortable, make sure our connections are tight with the people who we're going to be performing for, and we meet the necessary members of that personnel, and just kind of like ride with their schedule. Because once we get to the venue, they pretty much take over Chelsea, and because they have they have a certain setup that they want her to fit in. So we just make sure that Chelsea's rested and comfortable.